morning, everybody. Welcome to Erndales. My name is Dale, and this is my YouTube channel. I'm so happy that you joined me here this morning. It has been probably a couple of weeks since I've made a video. So I'm in the kitchen this morning because I'm going to do a little bit of baking with you. It's been extremely hot and humid here for about 3 weeks now. We've had temperatures way into the 30s degrees Celsius, and with the humidity added on, it's been very close and sometimes over 40. So there has been not much cooking and baking done in here. We do have central air, but the humidity just, once it gets into the house, it's really difficult with a house this size and a really old air conditioner to get it out of here. So today it's cooled down. Overnight it was 12 degrees Celsius this morning when we woke up. So perfect day to do some baking. I have all my windows open. There's a nice cool breeze, and I have my assistant Chip here. He's gonna probably add his comments once in a while. So just so you know that's who's talking over there. So I make homemade bread quite often, but I just do usually a white bread. But in this book here, it's a really old cookbook that I have. I think it's one of those church made cookbooks, where everybody, all the ladies in the church add a recipe. But the cover is long gone. I could not tell you which church it was from. But I think this was gifted to me as a wedding present, or not a wedding shower. I think somebody gave it to me. So it would be 40 years coming up. Anyway, in this book, there is a recipe called Health Crunch Bread. And I've always wanted to make this, but I've never always had all the ingredients at the right time. So the last time I went grocery shopping, I made a list and I made sure that I bought all the ingredients to make this bread. And today, because it's nice and cool, is the day that I'm going to give it a try. So I think I'm just going to read to you what's making this so healthy. It has molasses, oatmeal, wheat germ, whole wheat flour, and sesame seed in it. Now, I looked all over for wheat germ and I could not find wheat germ in any store. So while I was at the store, I Googled wheat germ, and it said that you can replace, if you have a recipe that calls for wheat germ, you can replace it with flax seed. Measurement for measurement. So in this recipe, it says 1 cup of wheat germ, so I can use 1 cup of flax seed instead. And that's what I'm going to do. I bought this milled flax seed. It's already been crushed up. So this is what I'm going to do instead of the wheat germ. So I'm going to get all my stuff here and I'll come back and we'll start putting this together. Stay tuned. Okay. Time to get measuring. As you can see, my yeast is doing really good, so I better get going here. So we need 3 cups of whole wheat flour. To me like I better get a plate that's going to go over. I better get a bowl. Okay, 3 cups of whole wheat flour. Scant on that. And 3/4 cup oatmeal. I've pre-measured that out. Oatmeal. 1 cup of flax seed crushed. I've measured that out. And 1/2 cup of sesame seed. Oh boy, that's really gonna go over, isn't it? Put it in a bowl. I didn't expect that to do that. Gosh, golly. Okay, sesame seed. A half a cup. There's nothing wrong with that yeast. Okay. And a quarter cup of molasses. I don't know if this is where you're supposed to put this molasses, but it's with the dry ingredients, so I'm assuming it is. My mom always used to have a saying, if somebody was kind of pokey or slow, she would always say that they were as slow as molasses in January. So fitting for Canada. Okay, there's our molasses is in there. And now we have to scald 2 cups of milk, which I have ready to do. Just gonna do it in the microwave. And then we need 2 cups of water. And half a cup of brown sugar. Half a cup. And 2 tablespoons of salt. Look at that yeast going there. 1, 2. I'm just putting it all in one thing here. And half a cup of lard, which I have here. That's not quite scalded. Boy, that's the most I've ever seen yeast go. Look at it. It's just going crazy there. Okay. Just waiting for the milk. Ah, that's nice. Okay, I'm taking my rings off. Washing my hands. spoon. All right. Let's see what this is going to do here. Mix this up. Add scalded milk. And let's add the yeast. Boy, that's crazy yeast. This is awful watery. It says use enough flour to make dough that can be kneaded till elastic. Well, this dough is not going to be kneaded till elastic. I guess I have to add more flour to it. Never quite seen bread dough that looked like that. Let's try some more flour. Needs more yet. Sticky. Says you should knead it 200 times. I have not been counting. But it's starting to feel kind of nice actually. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this up and let it rise. You let it rise twice. Before you put it, I think you let it rise twice. Yeah, you let it rise twice before you put it in the pans. So I'm going to leave that. I think it's pretty good. Okay, I'll come back later and we will check it out and see how it's doing after it's risen to double its size. In true recording fashion, these things always happen when I record, and I'm sure other YouTubers have the same problem. Well, in the midst of all of what I was just doing, my son decided he wanted to do a video. He's 3 hours away in Winnipeg. And so I sort of stopped and accommodated him. And then he walked out of his house and was showing me his yard. I thought this would be a really fast video. Apparently he had other intentions. And then he walked around to the neighbor, which used to be my neighbor because he bought our house that we used to live in before we moved out to the country. And so I had a chat with my old neighbor, and here I am in the middle of doing this bread thing. So goodness knows how this is going to turn out, but it's in the oven, it's rising. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to punch it down twice. I'll let it rise twice and punch it down twice. When I get to the part where I'm putting it in the pans, I'll come back and I'll record that for you. But in the meantime, I thought I might take you for a little spin around the garden, and then maybe we'll go upstairs and see how the recording gods are treating me as far as doing a little tune on the piano. Let's see how that goes. Well, there's my bread. Actually turned out better than I thought it would. It's not too bad, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be much more runny. I did add a little bit more flour after the first rise, but pretty much it's pretty good. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get 3 loaves out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into 3 loaves. Maybe even 4. Might even get 4 out of here, you know. You put them in the pans and you let it raise for 1 hour. Oh, that is what I will do. definitely have 4 loaves out of this. Which is pretty good. One more pan. Oh, I know I have another pan somewhere. What did I do with them? I didn't actually think I was going to get 4 loaves out of this. Looks like 4 loaves it is. So I'm going to put these back into the oven to rise for 1 hour, and then we will bake them. Looking good. I decided to be a part of the Cross Stitcher Camp 2023 this year. It's put on by the Colorado Cross Stitcher, and it's mostly on Instagram. But what it is for the 3 months of summer, including June, so June, July, and August. There's a theme. June is bird. You can stitch whatever you want, but it has to be a bird. It has to have a bird in it. I think July is something that grows, and then August is something, you stitch something you have, or try something that you've never done before. So I chose for June to do this piece here, this Lovebirds. And it is from what month is this? February 2021 Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I'm doing it in reverse. I'm doing it on, well, it's not white that I'm doing it on. It's almost like gray. And I'm doing red. Instead of white on the red, I'm doing red on gray. So you have a month to do whatever you choose. And you can choose whatever project you want, however big you want, however small. If you just want to do a small. And then when you get your project done, first of all, you you put a hashtag picture of what you're doing on the hashtag cross stitch summer cross stitch camp 2023, and you put it on Instagram. And then you can put photos as the month goes along of your progress, and then by the last day of the month you should have completed it. And you put however you've completed it. If you've just completed the stitching, you put that on, or if you've completed the whole piece, like if it's an ornament, have you finished the whole ornament? And you do that for all 3 months. So this is my progress on this piece. I haven't gotten very far. I'm stitching it on, I don't know what this is. It's Ada, but I think it's like 20 count Ada. It's very tiny. So I'm having to use my magnifiers a little bit once in a while. My old eyes aren't as good as they used to be. So I'm just doing right here. I've done right in this part. I've done up to here. So I thought while I'm waiting for the bread to rise the final time in the oven or in the pans, that I would come up here and stitch a little bit. I have my timer on my phone, so it'll buzz at me when it's an hour, and I'll go down and check on my bread. So that's what I'm doing right now. I also thought I would share with you my stitching journal for the month of May. So it's May. I don't know. I had done this first, and then I decided, I left it blank for pretty much the whole May because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And on the very last day, I stitched this with somebody sticking out their tongue. How bad of me. So just practicing different stitches. Here I put some tulips. And this was my brother-in-law's 80th birthday. And then just practicing more stitches. And same thing here. And then I just did a daisy. And then here, this whole section here is all kind of part of one thing because it went on for quite a while. It's a forest. And then from here all the way around to here was the forest fires in Alberta. So this is the sun showing the fires, and this is the smoke that we were in. And I did this little owl. And so the forest fires were all throughout here. And then my son's 35th birthday was on the 18th. And on the 22nd, I planted the vegetable garden. And just more practice stitching all through here. And then I was spending so much time in the garden. And I love the hymn in the garden. So I decided to, over the summer months, include some of the wording of that. So I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses. That's the beginning stanza of that hymn. And then this is just a little garden. So that's my month of May. And I will do, at the end of June, at the end of this month, when I finish June, I will have done 6 months of this. So I will do a 6-month review when I get that done. It's quite a nice texture. I'm gonna have some, it's still nice and warm, so I'm gonna put a little butter and some fresh honey on there. Not bad.
1953, Vaya con Dios, and it translates in Spanish as May God be with you.